I'm going to be demonstrating how to use personal protective equipment, also known as PPE, in a shelter setting. It's important to note that your shelter setup and the types of personal protective equipment may be different than what we are demonstrating in this video. Keep in mind, not all situations require full PPE. It's also important to do a risk assessment before each task to determine what PPE is needed. Now I'm going to show you how to put on and then remove full PPE. Step 1. Perform hand hygiene. Make sure you clean your hands before you have contact with the client or the client environment. Hand hygiene is an essential part of putting on and taking off PPE. I'm going to be using alcohol-based hand rub, also known as ABHR. You will apply 1 to 2 full pumps of the product onto one palm and spread the product over all surfaces of your hands, concentrating on the fingertips, between your fingers, back of the hands, and the base of your thumbs. These are the most commonly missed areas. I'll continue rubbing my hands until the ABHR is dry, which will take about 15 seconds. You might ask why I'm cleaning my hands before putting on PPE. There are a couple of reasons why. First, you want to make sure that you're not spreading germs to your face when putting on a mask or goggles. Second, you want to protect your client from your own germs or the germs that you've picked up from other people or surfaces. Now that my hands are clean, I'll be putting on PPE starting with the gown, followed by a mask, then goggles or a face shield, and finally gloves. Step 2. Putting on your gown. When gowning, the gown should fully cover your torso from neck to knees and the arms to the end of your wrists. You want to tie the neck securely and wrap it around your back and then tie your waist ties. This will protect your forearms and clothing from splashes and soiling. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how to put on facial protection, which includes either goggles and a mask or a face shield. We wear facial protection to prevent germs from entering our mucous membranes, such as our eyes, nose, and mouth. Step 3. Putting on your mask. You want to take the mask out of the box, touching the outside of the mask only. Place the mask under your chin and hold the mask in place while securing the straps over your ears. Then pull the mask over your nose and pinch the flexible nose piece to ensure that the mask is a good fit. You should fully cover your nose and mouth to prevent fluid penetration. Step 4. Putting on your eye protection. Remove the goggles from the packaging. Place the goggles on your face. They should fit snug over and around your eyes, or, like me, over your prescription eyeglasses. This will protect your eyes from potential splashes or sprays of body fluids. A face shield can be worn instead of a mask or goggles. Step 5. Putting on your gloves. The final piece of PPE is your gloves. Your gloves should fit your hands comfortably, not too loose or too tight. When putting them on, you will need to take care not to tear or puncture them. It's important to fit the glove over the cuff of the gown to ensure that your skin is not exposed. Once you have your personal protective equipment on, you're ready to complete your task. Most likely you'll be using this when you're within 2 meters of an ill client and required to use droplet contact precautions. Once the interaction is over with your client, what you need to do is remove your personal protective equipment as soon as possible. I'm going to show you now how to remove your PPE appropriately. Step 1. Removing your gloves. Remove your gloves using a glove-to-glove, skin-to-skin technique. This is because the outside of your gloves are considered contaminated. Grasp the outside edge near the wrist and peel away, rolling the glove inside out. Reach under the second glove and peel away and discard the gloves immediately into the garbage bin. Step 2. Removing your gown. You want to remove your gown in a manner that prevents contamination of clothing or skin. Remember, the outside of the gown is also considered contaminated. Untie your gown at the waist and the neck. Using the neckties, pull the outer side of the gown forward, turned inwards. Roll it off the arms into a bundle, then discard immediately. Step 3. Hand hygiene. Once your gloves and gown are off, it's important that you clean your hands with the alcohol-based hand rub before you take your mask and goggles off. This is because no matter how careful you are, When removing dirty gloves and gown, you may have gotten germs on your hands. So it's important to have the cleanest hands possible before removing your goggles and your mask, because you don't want to risk getting germs in your eyes, nose, or mouth. Step 4, removing eye protection. Now that you've completed your hand hygiene, you can remove your eye protection. The arms of the goggles and the headband of a face shield are considered to be clean and may be touched with your hands. The front of the goggles or face shield are considered to be contaminated. Remove the eye protection by handling the arms. Discard into the garbage bin. We recommend using single-use goggles, as reprocessing them can be tricky, and if not properly cleaned and disinfected, it can put you at risk of getting an infection. Step 5, removing your mask. Now it's time to remove your mask. Ear loops are considered to be clean and may be touched with your hands, but the front of the mask is contaminated. Grasp the ear loops and pull the mask forward off your head. Bend forward to allow the mask to fall away from the face. Then discard it immediately into the garbage bin. Step 6, hand hygiene. Perform hand hygiene. It is recommended you clean your hands after removing the goggles and mask because you may have contaminated your hands. It's important to remember that hands must be fully dry before touching the client, environment, or equipment. Cleaning your hands correctly is the most effective thing you can do to protect yourself and your clients against a number of infectious diseases. Once you've done your hand hygiene, we've completed our demonstration of putting on and taking off your personal protective equipment. Thank you for watching.